Thanks for coming, ladies.
Thank you. Want to sit here?
Thanks for coming, gentlemen.
Thanks for being here.
Doing this for the world.
Well, I saw a lot more here because I went down 3 times. And so you guys did a great job of being able to just show that human face, the passion that people felt, the reasons why they were doing this, helping Albertans see that this is about people just saying enough is enough. You know what, I've jumped through every hoop you've asked me to jump through, and now I'm still locked down or I'm still in restrictions. Please, enough is enough. So as politicians, many of us politicians said, look, we need to make sure this is the freest place in the world to be. We talk about that often, and yet we had restrictions that were really unpopular in rural Alberta.
We just had one of our people ask us the other day, hey, is there going to be an opportunity in Edmonton to see this thing? I said, well, we're working on it right now. We so want to support the truckers in this movement and love it so much.
Do you know of a facility maybe that holds 500 or 600 that might be willing?
Church in the Vine, absolutely. Church in the Vine, 149, you bet.
We can't wait.
Adam Sos here for Rebel News, and we are on location at Canyon Meadow Cinemas here in Calgary for the second sold-out screening of Trucker Rebellion, the story of the Coutts Blockade. People are clamoring to see this movie right across the country, and we're working on screenings. If you want to make sure you pay attention and catch any updates on new screenings, go to truckerdocumentary.com. In the meantime, I want to go inside, chat with some people, chat with some of the filmmakers, some of the people involved, and with some of our Rebel team about just how excited they are for this second screening.
Definitely it'll give you a taste of Coutts. The gentleman did a very good job, and all the people who edited the thing did quite a good job of representing it. It's an aspect of Coutts. So, bear in mind that many things took place. Many people had other perspectives of the story, having been there. And this does give you a very good idea of the political aspect, the negotiating between the gentleman at Coutts and the RCMP.
I think independent media like The Rebel and True North, LifeSite News, independent blogs are crucial because people need to get their information from different sources. Everybody's biased. The important thing is to be honest about your bias, and I think that The Rebel and True North and other media outlets, they are honest about their bias. And that's okay, and put it out there. So I always encourage people, if you want to listen to the CBC, go ahead, but get something different as well.
We've already seen people showing up at the theater trying to buy tickets, people scalping tickets. It's wild. How are you feeling?
It's absolutely insane. It just shows a hunger that people want to see the truth. They want to see what really happened down there, and we couldn't tell the full story on Twitter. We had no service to put up our daily reports. Yeah. So I said, screw it, let's make a documentary. And look behind, people are already gathering outside, and it's awesome.
Now, before this came out, one of the sort of sentiments that you frequently shared is that you really wanted to show people not what the media said, but what really happened. Talking to people over and over again, the sentiment that we hear, you've heard it, I've heard it, is that's how it was. That's how it was in Coutts. How does it feel to be able to really capture the essence of something and then allow people in a way to relive it on the big screen?
Well, it's awesome, and last week, sure, it was the best night of my life, but one of the best things I've ever heard was one of the truckers who was one of the main speakers there. He said, I thought Rebel was going to glorify this, and he turned around and looked at me and said, that's how it really was. I got to hand it to you. And that it is how it was. It's raw, it's dirty, it's a stinky documentary. It was stinky there. It's like I said before, you could say it was an amazing time, and you could also say it was a terrible time.
You are one of our Fight the Fines recidivists, actually, and we just received the wonderful news a couple of weeks back that tickets that you received for attending at the Whistle Stop alongside with Chris Scott, those tickets were quashed thanks to the efforts of Williamson Law. Tell us a little bit about that.
Williamson Law went to bat for us, and he squashed the ticket, and they didn't really have anything to base their charges on me. And it was squashed, and it was be a Rebel News that represented me and Williamson Law, and it was great. It was gone.
So when you first get that ticket, is that kind of intimidating? Is it daunting? What's the sort of feeling when you're first facing this big fine?
Well, it's always in the back of your mind when you're getting a ticket like that. Like, I haven't been charged and never had anything on my record, and it's still there. And find out the good news that's just put behind you is just overwhelming. It just takes a lift off you that you don't have to worry about.
So I'm now here with UCP MLA Fort Taber Warner Grant Hunter. You no doubt took a bunch of flack, but you actually went down. You saw what was happening firsthand. You sort of went to bat along with some of the other rural MLAs for what these folks were doing. How much of the energy that you saw when you were in Coutts was sort of recaptured here at the screening?
This was great. 350 people sold out, second showing. And, you know, it was just great. I think that the problem that the mainstream media has had is they haven't been able to tell the story of who was actually going to Coutts, who was actually those trucker convoys. Mm-hmm. I think obviously the truckers, trucker convoy, but there were people down there who were judges in Alberta, people who were teachers, so union people. There were nurses down there that I met. There was lots of people. Now, remember, that was my riding, so I had every right to be able to go down there and to be able to make sure that people were safe. Many times, I told the people that were down there, in fact, George was here today, please don't break the law. Have this be peaceful. And as you saw in this documentary, that was always the plea. Yeah. Let's make it safe, let's make it peaceful, and let's make it powerful.
And how much, we saw lots of sort of vilification, dehumanization. How humanizing was it for you to see these people in person, to see them interacting, to see how peaceful and positive it is, and then to see it again tonight on the big screen?
Well, I saw a lot more here because I went down 3 times. And so you guys did a great job of being able to just show that human face, the passion that people felt, the reasons why they were doing this, helping Albertans see that this is about people just saying enough is enough. You know what, I've jumped through every hoop you've asked me to jump through, and now I'm still locked down or I'm still in restrictions. Please, enough is enough. So as politicians, many of us politicians said, look, we need to make sure this is the freest place in the world to be. We talk about that often, and yet we had restrictions that were really unpopular in rural Alberta.
And so great to have you here. Happy you're going to be able to check out the film. I've heard some rumors maybe that there might be some space at your church. I know a lot of people in Edmonton are clamoring to see the film. What do you guys think? Do you think that might be a possibility?
Well, we're working toward that right now.
We certainly are. We might know some people. We might,
wink, wink, yeah. We just had one of our people ask us the other day, hey, is there going to be an opportunity in Edmonton to see this thing? I said, well, we're working on it right now. We so want to support the truckers in this movement and love it so much.
Do you know of a facility maybe that holds 500 or 600 that might be willing?
Church in the Vine, absolutely. Church in the Vine, 149, you bet.
We
awesome.
Can't wait.
That is a wrap on the second screening of Trucker Rebellion, the story of the Coutts Blockade. It was an incredible night, a very warm reception. Kian, of course, received a round of applause. It is so important that we are able to do this incredible journalism and get these stories out to you. Again, if you want to check out a screening of the show and you want to make sure you don't miss any of those details, go to truckerdocumentary.com. And as always, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. For Rebel News, I'm Adam Sos. If you want to make sure that you don't miss a screening of Trucker Rebellion, the story of the Coutts Blockade, near you, go to truckerdocumentary.com now.